This is my first stream. I have no idea if this sounds good, looks good, or anything like that. I actually have my wife on the watching me right now just to see if she can see some things. So first off, hello. My name's SugarBear. I am a father of Dose, and I'm really just doing this to have fun and to enjoy playing games with my friends. I'm new to the PC world in general. I've personally never owned a PC, never really played PC games, but a lot of my friends do, and I'm here to have some fun with them. So before I get into games, really I want to do something that I am comfortable with, that I feel like I'm pretty knowledgeable about to a certain extent, which is wrestling. That's where the Wrestle Talk comes in. So I've been a fan of the WWE, wrestling, professional wrestling, my whole life. I probably started when I was like in first, second grade. I can't remember exactly what year or anything like that, but I've loved it most of my life. There was actually a pretty big stretch in time where I really didn't watch it anymore just because I was kind of getting out of it. The funny thing is, it was actually like the John Cena era, when John Cena started getting big and everything. So I got out of it then. Fast forward many years later, I'm married, and my wife's never seen it. None of that stuff. So I take her to a wrestling show just because I'm like, you know what? It's something to do. Let's go have fun. Kind of maybe open your eyes to something that I enjoyed growing up. And took her to a show. We both enjoyed it. But it was still kind of just at that. Then we were like, okay, let's get into this a little bit more. So, and I can still kind of remember our first episode together. I can't remember the exact date. But it was when the New Day was rivaling with the Wyatt family, and they had a match at the Wyatt compound. That was kind of my first introduction back in. But really, it was one person, one man that caught my attention and really sparked that interest in wrestling again. And that was Finn Balor. Finn Balor blew me away. He was entertaining. He had the face paint. He had the wrestling skills, mic skills. I mean, it was just one of those things that kind of brought me back to those glory days of wrestling. And seeing just a clip of him on Facebook really opened up my eyes to be like, whoa, this stuff's getting really good again. So I decided to check it out. And ever since then, the wife and I have been basically addicted. I don't know if you can really see behind me too much, but I mean, this half of the room, sorry, getting used to this. This half of the room is filled with just a bunch of signed pictures. This side right there, these are as well. A bunch of wrestling memorabilia from when I was a kid, from nowadays, to just a bunch of random stuff. One of the coolest things is like, got one of my Stings, from when I was a kid, sitting right next to me. It was something my mom did actually on her PC when I was growing up, so I thought it was kind of a sweet homage for her to have it right there. But anyway, my idea of what I want to do, hopefully every Saturday when I stream, is to kind of just talk to you guys and maybe get a chat going and build my fan base off of that if I ever get one. Just because, again, the gaming part isn't my thing. Like, I'm just not good at it. I'm going to stream games. I'm going to, you're going to hopefully see me play Call of Duty tonight. See, going back to the experience part, you can't really, I didn't know that I needed to download Warzone. I thought it just downloaded automatically, and it didn't. So hopefully, if that actually downloads in time, then I'll play that, and you'll see me and a bunch of buddies having fun. If not, who knows? So toys, excuse me, they're not toys. They're action figures. Thank you very much. Okay, collectibles. And so there you go. There's the first chat with the wife. So I hope you can hear me. Does everything sound good? Look good? I'm kind of leaning on you right now as my crutch. So, but anyway, so my intention for every Saturday is to just come in and have fun with you guys and chit chat for a little bit, and then get started playing games, because you're going to get more of the entertaining side of me when I play games. And obviously, but I want you guys to get to know me, and again, for me to come in and do something that I know a little bit better than just pressing some buttons on this keyboard, because I have no idea what I'm doing. So again, before I get in, thank you again to my beautiful wife. She said you can hear me and see good. Awesome. Thank you. So before we get started, just want you guys to know to check out a podcast that I am a part of. It is called Putting the BS in Beers. You can find it on all major platforms, social media, anything like that. And that's something that I have in my Twitch bio and stuff like that. So it's awesome. It's me and a couple buddies that I do play games with, that the emphasis is on the BS, is what we always like to say. We just talk about random shit and have fun. So anyway, I'm going to dive into some wrestling stuff. Babe, this is really just for you. So I guess we'll see how it goes. First off, the intro to Raw. If you guys don't know, it changed recently. They just did a big draft, and people got moved around and stuff like that. And they changed the intro to Raw, and it is fucking awesome. It's by an artist named NF. It's called The Search. And I've listened to a little bit of NF before, but to me, the song's just perfect for an entrance to any wrestling show, and that one is awesome. So first off, just to get pumped up for a great show, start off with some good NF. Secondly, one of the things that I'm really interested in to see what the future brings is how long the New Day will actually stay together. So for those of you who don't know, Kofi Kingston, Big E, and Xavier Woods have been one of the, if not best tag teams of this generation. I'm a big tag team guy, and I've never been like the biggest fan of the New Day, but of course you can't get anything but enjoyment out of them. They're so much fun to watch. They're really entertaining in the ring, and they do a great job. So my biggest thing is, after this draft, they cut one of the members, and didn't cut him from the roster, but basically drafted him to one end of the show, which was SmackDown, which is Big E, and then they sent the two remaining members to Monday Night Raw, and they're still being called the New Day. I can't even remember after this week if Big E was even on the show. I don't remember him being on the show the last couple weeks, but that's something that's kind of interesting too. But they're still calling Kofi and Xavier Woods the New Day. They still have the New Day theme, and they dress, the same. Nothing's really changed about them. My hope is that everything stays the same, because again, I'm a big tag team guy. I respect and enjoy the New Day, so that's definitely something that I don't want to see happen. I was kind of blown away when they split them up in the first place. So I guess we'll kind of see really what happens there. But I'm hoping that they keep the name, they keep kind of doing what they do. I hope they bring something back, kind of like the pancakes or the ice cream, which is going to be tough with technically two members on one show and the final and the last member on the other show. But still, it's just I don't think I'm ready to see the New Day just not be a thing anymore. And I think obviously it's going to happen with Big E first, because I think that he will drop that look, the entrance music, before the other two do, just because it seems like they want to give him a big push, a big singles push. So I guess we'll really start there and kind of see what happens. But who knows? Survivor Series. Survivor Series is the next pay-per-view coming up. What's this? Yes. Yeah, so my wife talks about how she's pissed that they're split up too. It sucks. And I don't like to see it happen, but nothing lasts forever. So I guess we'll see. Hopefully, again, they can just bring him back and kind of go from there. Yes, Survivor Series is one of the best times of the year for wrestling. It can't come really any better than the holiday season, just because Survivor Series has always been one of my favorite pay-per-views. And it's coming up. It's right around the corner. It's the 22nd, something like that. And it's going to be, I think it's going to be pretty good. So Monday Night Raw, their team is filled with AJ Styles, Braun Strowman, give me these hands, Sheamus, Keith Lee, and Matt Riddle. First off, Matt Riddle, I don't really know. I'm not really on that Riddle train right now, so we'll kind of see how that goes. That team's stacked. First off, AJ Styles is arguably one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. I've been a fan of his since his original Impact days. He's phenomenal. There's a reason he has the nickname, and you can't argue it. He is just phenomenal. So first off, there's that. You have Braun Strowman, the monster among men, the dude who just wrecks everyone on this team. So it's kind of like good luck. If I remember right, last year he destroyed everyone. I think he got all 5 eliminations. I can't remember for sure, but he's insane. He is a freak of an athlete. He is one of my favorite to watch because I'm a big dude, nowhere near Braun Strowman's size, but it's awesome to see someone of his size do something. Some of the tricks, idiot. Some of the moves and acrobatic stuff he does. You know, we've seen him jump off the top rope. I mean, we've seen him flip dudes in the air. I mean, it's insane. So, good luck to Team SmackDown just with that guy right there. Third is Sheamus. Never really been that big of a Sheamus fan, honestly. He's a hell of a wrestler. I mean, the dude he can just wrestle flat out, but not a big fan of his look right now. Again, for you guys who don't watch wrestling, I would say probably about a year ago, he had this awesome mohawk beard going on, just looked awesome. He was a part of a team called The Bar, which actually quickly became one of my favorite tag teams just because they were doing such a good job. They were so dominant. They had a great storyline before they actually became a tag team of them just wrestling each other. It was like a 8-match fight where it's like they were going to wrestle 8 times just to see who the best one was. It was like a best of 8 series or 7 series or something like that. I don't know. And it basically came to a tie in the end, going back to the whole professional wrestling thing. And in the end, they became a tag team, and they were fucking awesome. They did so good, and they had this chemistry together. And the other member of The Bar was Cesaro, which if you want to talk about a freak of an athlete, you talk about Cesaro. First off, he has a freaking 12-pack, and then the dude runs around the ring like he's a freaking crazy man. So he's awesome, but they just had this great connection. They worked the fans really well. They had great matches, and it sucked to see him separate. And from my understanding, it was because Sheamus he was injured. So once his injury got all better and he came back, he just kind of went back to his old look, which is this spiky red hair and Viking Irish looking beard with braids. I don't know. It's not my thing. I feel like he changed it in the first place. So why did he go back? So whatever. Next, Keith Lee. Keith Lee is a solid dude. And I don't just mean that and just he's a good guy. I mean, the dude's a fucking rot. He does this move where he bounces off the ropes and he just hits people with the shoulder. And the way he does it, he just flows so well. And it doesn't matter who it is. It seems like, I feel like I saw him do it with Braun Strowman, where they're on the ground. The dude is just the size of a doorway. It makes no sense. And I just think he's going to be a future Hall of Famer for sure. He is going to be definitely a future world champion, and it's going to be awesome to see. He has a long way to go. Like I said, Matt Riddle, he's entertaining. He's definitely a great athlete, great physique, but I feel like he's not that good on the mic, and he's really just, I like his wrestling style, actually. I mean, it's more of like a grappling, like mat technician type of thing, and I enjoy that just because having a wrestling background of like Greco-Roman wrestling, I like to see that. It kind of brings some memories back for me, and it's just enjoyable. Team SmackDown. Okay, so Raw has a solid team. It's going to be pretty impressive to see them lose. But SmackDown has a great team as well. I don't know. I can't remember if SmackDown talked about a fifth member, but I have the first four. So Kevin Owens. Sheamus is trying to be the Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Yeah, it looks like he is trying to be in Valhalla. That's for sure. But it's definitely not working. He is no. It's just not working. So anyway, Team SmackDown, Kevin Owens, hell yeah. Kevin Owens is probably one of my favorite wrestlers right now, and has been for the last couple of years. He is just so good at being bad. And it took me a long time to really understand that. But especially a few years ago, it just really kind of kicked in. It's kind of like that Chris Jericho thing where, you hate Chris Jericho so much just because he's an asshole. He knows what to say to get under your skin and to pick at you and all this stuff. And one day it just kind of clicked, and it was like, holy shit, he's just really good at being bad. And you can't knock him for that. It's just awesome. So to see him, Kevin Owens, basically take that role on and kill it is just awesome. So not only, again, to see another big dude, a little bit more my size, that does flips and jumps off the top rope and seems like he's going to be a gymnast at 300 pounds is just really cool to see. So Kevin Owens, and with that stunner, he does a hell of a job with bringing back that stunner, and it's awesome to see. Number 2, Jey Uso. Usos fan ever since I started watching wrestling again. They are amazing. Hall of Fame freaking tag team. They're a Hall of Fame tag team, and they're doing great things. I love the change of look. Ever since they changed their outfits, their music, their demeanor, and all that stuff, I thought it got even better. I loved the half painted face and bright colors and good attitudes. I loved that Usos, but the Bad Boys, they're fucking solid. They do a great job. And with this kind of Jey Uso singles competitor stuff right now, again, I like it. I enjoy it. He's a hell of a wrestler, but the Usos they have a special place in my heart. So seeing them separated is tough, but Jey Uso is definitely a solid competitor, and I think he's going to do great. Third, King Corbin. I love how he changed his look, a year and a half ago. But other than that, I mean, to me, he's nothing special. I feel like they're not even really using him too much on TV right now. So I don't know what's going to happen in the future for King Corbin. I don't know how much longer they can really push this King thing. They didn't do a King of the Ring this year, so I guess maybe another year. But it's just, I think it's kind of has its toll. I think he needs to change something to get back on TV, to bring back the fans wanting to see him. Because really, when he transitioned into this King Corbin character, he really didn't change anything about him. He just added a crown and a fucking staff and cape. I mean, that was really about it. So he needs to do something to kind of change some things up to really bring back that enjoyment to see Baron Corbin. Fourth member, the Messiah, Seth frickin' Rollins, which I know I'm probably going to get a comment in the next 45 seconds about how my wife hates his entrance music, because I think everyone does. Seth Rollins had one of the, if not best entrance musics of today. It got everyone pumped. The whole crowd would yell it. If you don't know it, I'm sorry, because it was amazing. And it was just it changed how everyone felt. So for him to change that and to change into this character, I mean, I get it, but it's also one of those things too where it's just like, dude, you're missing out on so much because everyone wants to hear the burn it down, and you're not giving that to us right now. We have to listen to just like a gospel singing angels. Sorry if you heard that gulp. I'm new to this again. Yeah, my wife. It's his original or his old theme music that I'm talking about is literally my ringtone for my wife. It's just so good. So anyway, past that, he's amazing. Seth's one of the best in the world. You can't deny that. And even though this weird Rey Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio, Buddy Murphy thing still going on, hopefully it's going to be done soon, and we can see something maybe come out of Survivor Series with it. So again, I'm sorry, I don't know the fifth member, but if I'm looking at it on paper, which I am, Team Raw is going to dominate Team SmackDown. I mean, you have Kevin Owens, but on Team SmackDown, which is awesome. But when you have Keith Lee and Braun Strowman, first off, talk about size. I mean, good luck having them on the ring apron at the same time. You might have the ring fucking caved to one side. I mean, who really knows? But yeah, Team Raw. Team Raw is going to take this. And then little insert right here too. What I'm going to try to do as well, probably my next stream is on Saturday anyway, is do my wrestling predictions for Survivor Series. I'll break it down match by match and see who I think is going to come out on top for all the matches in between. Okay, yeah. So my wife just kind of gave me a heads up. Thank you, Mama. I appreciate you. And I don't think the fifth member's even been chosen yet for Team SmackDown. So that's good. Going on next, Retribution. So I am a faction fiend. I fucking love factions. The NWO, to me, is what revolutionized wrestling. Even to this day. I mean, it just doesn't... If there was no NWO, who knows if wrestling would even be a thing anymore. I mean, I personally think the NWO saved wrestling to make it what it is today for us, to make it how big it is. And a lot of wrestling fans talk, and it's kind of enjoying and liking and watching wrestling is kind of a closet thing. I know even when I was a kid, I mean, I was always very proud of who I was, and I never felt ashamed of anything, but for some reason I didn't enjoy always wearing my wrestling shirts out and talking about wrestling, just because not a lot of people around me even understood it. And the moment you bring something up, it's constantly wrestling's fake. Why do you watch that? Blah, 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 blah. And you know what? I get it. I'm not trying to change how you feel about whether it's real, fake, or anything, because I don't care. I have my feelings about it. And if you just don't want to try it and say it's fake and shitty, but then you're going to turn around and watch the UFC, cool. That's all on you. Have fun. But anyway, Retribution. It sucks. I don't know what they're trying to do with it. It's not good. It's boring to me. Adding Mustafa Ali, who they were trying to give one of the biggest pushes to last year as the main member, just really makes no sense to me. It's just not good. The masks, the way they kind of just hold the team. One thing I truly enjoy at Retribution is that they have a woman on the team, and what I like about that is kind of going back to like even NWO days, DX days, where China was there and Miss Elizabeth was with Macho Man in with NWO. And even though like Miss Elizabeth, she didn't wrestle really. I always thought it was cool to have a woman wrestler on the team, just because I like factions that dominate. Undisputed Era, they're the most recent to dominate a brand and to make it their brand, which they had every title for that brand. They had it, and it was awesome to see. I loved it, but they didn't. They don't have a woman on the team, so they weren't able to have that woman's title, which to me, if you want to be the most dominant, where's that woman to kind of hold the team together and bring that last title in? The wife just brought in Sanity. Yeah, see, Sanity never really got the right push. I mean, they had a pretty good run in NXT, but ever since coming to, I think it was SmackDown, into the main roster, they just never got another push. And it kind of sucks because I think they honestly could have been pretty good. But whatever. What do I know? But yeah, so if you watch wrestling and you enjoy Retribution, I'm sorry. I think it's horrible. When they first were coming and just kind of destroying shit and no one really knew who they were, it was definitely a lot more entertaining. They caught my eye for sure. But right now it's just kind of blech. So Women's Survivor Series. I'm just going to go through this real quick. And again, SmackDown, I only have 2 people. So I don't know if what's come from that. I don't remember anything from this last episode of SmackDown. So Team Raw, Dana Brooke, Mandy Rose, Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax, and Lana. Solid team. I mean, you have Nia Jax on your team. So that right there, you have the size and the strength. But then you also have Shayna Baszler, which I think right now is probably one of the most dominant women in wrestling. You have Charlotte Flair, who's kind of been on the IR lately, who to me is hands down the best women's wrestler. And she's not my favorite by any means, but the way she talks on the mic, the way she holds herself in the ring, and the way she wrestles, I mean, is just it's just killer. So, but then you have so many more, but Shayna Baszler is just, she's awesome. And I think for her to come from the UFC and to come do that her whole life with that combat sport and to just kind of turn it and be able to bring it to the professional wrestling side is awesome. Because I personally don't think Ronda Rousey did that. I thought Ronda Rousey sucked. And I know exactly how my wife feels too. And it's one of those things where it's just, it's good to see Shayna Baszler grabbing the bull by the horns and really, taking it to the mat. She's doing a hell of a job. And so I see her lasting for a long time. It's just shitty to see that Ronda Rousey is the big main attraction. I mean, she was the women's champion like a month into her career with WWE, which, I mean, hey, give respect where respect's due. I mean, it's not like she didn't earn her name and her popularity by any means. I mean, she is Ronda Rousey. I can't say that it wouldn't bring a lot of people to the WWE to watch it and to give them a shot, but still, it was just not my cup of tea. Team SmackDown is Bianca Belair. Phenomenal. Great woman wrestler. I think she's going to go far. Really, really far. Super freak of an athlete. So I'm super excited to see what the future brings for her. And then Ruby Riott, which kind of weird because I think it's funny how Team Raw has 2 women tag teams on it, but then Liv Morgan's not with SmackDown team. So a little weird. Sorry, I got to take another drink. Again, sorry for if you heard a gulp. Thank you. Okay, so Liv was added. So sweet. Liv Morgan's there. Good to know. I'm going to write that down. That makes sense. I don't know why she wouldn't, but whatever. All right. Next part. AJ Styles' bodyguard. Holy shit. Yeah. That guy is a fucking giant. Literally. Again, I only have 2 people watching, and the second person, I don't even know who they are, and they might not even watch wrestling. But, holy shit. So just to put this in perspective, for people who may watch this, who have watched wrestling or know anything about wrestling currently. So, AJ's bodyguard, his nickname is Big Jordan, is what he's known as in the wrestling world. He is 7'3" tall. 7'3" at 291 pounds. God damn. 7'3", okay? So, again, perspective. I'm going to read you this list, and you're going to be blown away, okay? So, again, Big Jordan standing at 7'3" tall. Braun Strowman, the monster among men, the big man of wrestling right now. He is 6'8". 6'8" compared to 7'3". That's a big difference. Kane, the big red monster. Personally, favorite wrestler of all time. Is it this hand? Right there. Amazing. I love him. He was one of my first favorite WWF wrestlers because I grew up watching WCW. That was my beginning. So Kane really brought me to that WWF side. 7 feet tall. Sorry. Undertaker, 6'10". Dead man. Okay. The Great Khali, 7'1". Kevin Nash, big sexy, my original favorite wrestler, love him to death, 6'10". Big Show, the Big Show. It's in his name, big. 7 foot. Big Cass, you can't teach that. 7 foot. There is only one man on this list that I was able to find that was taller than Big Jordan. And that was the man, the myth, the legend, the greatest big man of all time in wrestling, Andre the Giant. How big was he, you say? 7'4". He was 1 inch taller. So this Big Jordan guy, I looked him up a little bit. I saw that he had a college basketball career. He could do good things at that size. God damn. I guess we'll see. Next thing, Hurt Business. Going back to that whole factions thing, going back to the tag team thing, I think they're awesome. They are bringing a lot to wrestling right now. I am not a fan of MVP. Do not like MVP. Never have. Again, he was kind of one of those incoming wrestlers when I was like, see you later. Bobby Lashley. Liked him when I was a little bit younger. Ever since he came back, I just think he was kind of, whatever. I'm very impressed with his physique. I can't believe his physique is still in the same tact it was back then. Cedric Alexander, I really enjoy him just because I'm a huge Ricochet fan, and I thought he was the WWE version of Ricochet before Ricochet was added to WWE. And then Shelton Benjamin. Grew up really enjoying him just because he was part of the greatest tag team of all time. Well, what they said anyway. Him and Charlie Haas. I mean, they're phenomenal together. But ever since he came back too, I've just never really been a fan. But getting these 4 dudes who weren't really getting a lot of TV time, MVP's coming back from just wrestling on the indies. Bobby Lashley hasn't really... He's been used, but it's one of those things where it's just like, you're not really good on the mic. You're just, you're kind of like whatever. They had that whole thing with Lana, which really didn't work out because WWE ended up firing Rusev anyway. Just kind of weird. Shelton Benjamin, again, hasn't really been used since he's been back. They had him with Chad Gable right when he came back. And to me, that was the dumbest thing ever because they just split Chad Gable up from, again, a great tag team that could have done big things and been Hall of Famers in the WWE as a tag team. Split him up. And first off, where's Jason Jordan anyway? But then... and then Cedric Alexander. They weren't really using him. That's the thing right here that my wife just brought up. Cedric is so good. He is a amazing athlete. The things that he can do in the ring are just so fun to watch. He's one of the people that I think of when someone tells me wrestling's fake, it's not a sport, they're not real athletes, stuff like that. He is one of those people that I pull out and I go, there he is. Tell me you can do half of the things that guy does. That has nothing to do with a wrestling move. This dude is a freak of nature. And if I'm talking that well about him, Ricochet's a whole nother book. I mean, Ricochet is one of the people that got me into independent wrestling. Just because I saw a clip of him and I never looked at wrestlers the same. He is the pinnacle of like high flying wrestling to me. I mean, mad respect to Rey Mysterio and Eddie and all of those great luchadors and high flyers that came before Ricochet. I mean, Jeff Hardy, who's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. No one touches what Ricochet can do. And not even just the way he can give a move, but the way he takes a move is almost bar none. I mean, insane and awesome. Yes, yeah. So one of the things she brought up in the chat, which I would assume you guys can see, is wish that they would use Ricochet more. It seems like they're trying to add him to the Hurt Business. I honestly can't say I would be upset about it, just because him and Cedric Alexander were a great tag team anyway, and I could see that. But I don't know. Ricochet as a heel it's kind of weird right now. So we'll see. Yeah. And then he's with his dad, Kurt Angle, Jason Jordan. So if you guys know anything about that backstory, you'll understand that. And I guess father and son are happy together. But back to it. Hurt Business, keep it up. I fucking love it. I hope they stay around for a while. I hope they give them good teams to go after. I could definitely see this being a Undisputed Era. You know, bringing them in. Imperium. Sorry. Talk about saying I know wrestling. They would be another great match for him. So Hurt Business, I just hope they keep them around, keep them doing what they're doing because they're doing an amazing job. So Sheamus and Drew McIntyre have been doing a lot of stuff backstage together, chit-chatting, stuff like that. And if you know anything about either one of them, they go way, way back. They kind of came up in the business together. So to see those two backstage and being able to kind of chit-chat and potentially see a storyline with them, I'm super excited for. It could be real scary to see Sheamus and Drew McIntyre together just because they're both just freaks in the ring. And they do an amazing job. So to see them, they could wreck some people. But even right here in my notes, this is where my mind goes with a faction. You have Drew McIntyre, you have Sheamus. Give me Jordan Devlin from NXT UK. Give me the NXT champion Finn Balor. And the man herself, Becky Lynch. Put those 5 in a faction. Oh! Wrestling gold, I think. I think it could be amazing. And they could absolutely destroy. So we'll see really what happens there. That was all of Raw right now. So again, I'm 40 minutes in. I'm still trying to figure some things out. So I hopefully won't go this long all the time. I'm just trying to be wrestling entertaining and then go to game entertaining later. So thank you for following, babe. I love you. And that second person who's watching too. I don't even know if I can. Oh, sweet. Anyway, real quick, AEW. I'm a huge wrestling video game fan as well. I love playing them. We get them every year. AEW has announced that they will be coming out with their own video game, and I'm so fucking excited. I haven't been watching as much AEW like I would want to be, so I'm trying to catch up, but it's just to see that. I'm a huge Kenny Omega, Young Bucks, Bullet Club fan. Bullet Club, again, is one of those. They are the ones that opened my eyes in New Japan, so I'm just super excited to be able to play as them, do whatever. And I think it's just, if done right, it's going to be an awesome game. So that's all I have for AEW. NXT. The beginning match. Wow. So Johnny Gargano, Mr. Takeover, I love this side of him. I love the angry, mad Johnny, but damn, I have no idea what they're trying to do with this. The dude got beat by a guy named Leon Ruff. Who the fuck is that? He can't even put the title around his goddamn waist. It falls down to his ankles. So I have no idea what they're doing with that. I mean, I get the whole streak of losing his belt on his first defense, which I get. I mean, hey, keep that streak going. I don't care. But damn. To Leon Ruff, I don't know. Whatever. We'll see what the future brings with that. Going to SmackDown. SmackDown was good. I can't remember if I finished it all this week, but I have to start off with another faction idea. Okay? Hear me out. Roman Reigns has turned heel, which I think is one of the best things for his career. I wish so much that this happened when fans were actually in the stands, because they would just eat him alive. It would be so awesome to see him get reamed every night. But right now we just get a look at digital screens in the Thunderdome, which, hey, I'll take. Wrestling in front of no crowd is better than no wrestling at all. But with him kind of head of the table chief or head chief, whatever, this whole gimmick right now, I love it. And with his rivalry with Jey Uso, I think was just as good too. And now that he's like, hey, you're either on my side or you're not in the family anymore, love it. So that just sparks my mind to Samoan Mafia. You have Roman Reigns. You have the Usos when Jimmy is healthy. Right there. Potential Samoa Joe. Can you imagine a Samoa Joe return to a freaking faction like that? Oh my gosh. But then you add another family member of theirs in Tamina. If you don't know, you figure it out. But just to add that glue, that could be a real sweet faction right there, and I would love to see it. I've honestly dreamed about that faction for a long time. Without Samoa Joe, just because I always thought how amazing would it be to see Roman Reigns, the Usos, and Tamina, all four family members, battle it with everyone else in the Samoan Mafia type of thing. I think it'd be freaking awesome. Last thing I have on wrestling is, again, right back into that opening scene. Drew McIntyre comes out, shocks the whole audience, shocks Roman Reigns. What the fuck's going on? Because, again, there's a potential that they will be wrestling at Survivor Series against each other. Uh, it is. It was really cool. But the biggest thing that I thought was awesome is that Drew McIntyre made Jey Uso look like a bitch when he pushed it. Jey Uso got in his face, said, "I'm standing up for this roster, this team, Roman Reigns, blah, blah." And Drew McIntyre just pushes Uso right out of his goddamn shoes. It's just, it was one of the cool. I thought I was very entertained. Sorry. And it was, I can't wait to see more. So let's see what we got. Yes. Oh, adding The Rock to a Samoan mafia would be phenomenal. But I don't know how that would work because I would think of him as the head chief. So that could be interesting just because they could be like, they bring The Rock back just because, The Rock's Mr. Hollywood, for all we know, President 2024, owning the XFL, highest paid actor in Hollywood. I mean, he's everything. So I could definitely see him doing a potentially coming back and getting that his wrestling boots tied back on. So we'll see about that. And then, so there's, I guess what she brought up is an invasion. So every year, one of the biggest things about Survivor Series is the two brands invading on each other, which I get the whole, don't make something different every year. But the invasion is one of the best things just because when you have the two brands split, seeing them come together is amazing. So when they do that, it's just kind of an added oomph into the wrestling world. And I mean, think if there wasn't an invasion, what was it, 1-2 years ago, Becky Lynch wouldn't be who she is today. She wouldn't be the basically first ballot Hall of Famer, I feel like, that she is now. Just because that whole invasion fight with her and Nia Jax, where Nia Jax broke her nose and there was blood running down her face and all this stuff, that wouldn't have happened. And that is what kind of cemented her into that whole, the man position and everything. And it's going to be awesome. Yeah. Becky Lynch is a badass. Yep. That's for sure. And then, last thing that she's bringing up right here is just NXT. So I believe personally, NXT is probably the best wrestling on TV today. That's just, again, my opinion. And I just think they have some of the best wrestlers, great talent, great storylines. Makes me really interested to see when Triple H may take over the entire brand, and not just NXT is what I'm saying, and doing everything. Just because, from my understanding, Vince is still in charge of the two Raw and SmackDown shows. So to see what Triple H is doing on NXT and how good and entertaining it is with the live music, the shows, the beginning speeches that he does, the matches that he puts together, it's amazing. So the biggest thing is, I don't remember seeing an NXT takeover on the books. So hopefully that's coming up soon, just because we all want to see a takeover. So let's keep our fingers crossed for that. Other than that, that's it, guys. I appreciate anyone who watched, everyone who watched. Every week, again, I'm going to try to do these breakdowns and have some fun. This is going to be about an hour long. I'm hoping that I can get this on my YouTube. This will be on my Twitch. And yeah. So again, bear with me. I'm very new to this, but I'm super excited to start doing this. Like I said, I do a podcast called Putting the BS in Beers with a couple great buddies. Couple of them that, again, you can follow. One of them right now on Twitch, his name's McDenty, McDenty. So he's going to be playing with me quite a bit. He's also going to be doing his own streaming stuff. So please go follow him. And then our main boy, we love him to death, Chubbs. He we'll be doing a lot of stuff on maybe our BS page for Twitch, and that's something again that you guys can go follow is our BS and Beers Twitch page. So again, thank you very much. I love you guys, and I had a lot of fun. So now I'm going to figure out how to stop this. Thank you.